What's up, squad? It's Brandon from the Bantu Sun. Thanks so much for joining me today. I just wanted to hop in, clear my mind out on a couple things, and just talk to you guys. Today, I kind of made a very interesting decision, and it's definitely funny to me. So, I just got back from travel. Of course, those that know, I had spent some time in New Zealand. We went to go see a cool museum, um, and explore the land a little bit. We went to both islands, North Island and South Islands, and I was able to gather some information. I'm really hoping to bring back to the product. The way I cover that part of the world, especially in the changing times of this new Indo-Pacific strategic realm. But I get back and I had a message from someone I used to work with. And if I work with somebody, it's usually because of trial and error. And I usually try to keep good relationships because they're relatively far and few between. I really try to keep those on the up and up and keep open lines of communication. So this was a person that used to do some work for me, some contract work for me, and they came with a proposal regarding some of my products as well as their new employer products. And they organized a meeting to talk, and it was an opportunity for me to make a couple of dollars. But at the end of the day, I declined this opportunity, and I didn't decline it for financial reasons. The reasons I declined it was because it had no alignment towards it was two reasons actually. One was I chose mission over money. I felt as though it would distract me more from what I'm trying to accomplish, regardless of the possible monetary reward. I felt it would be more of a distraction than a benefit. And at this stage of the game, I'm really focused on building. I think that there are some people in this world are just natural entrepreneurs, and I am not one of them. They are hard charging, very straightforward, very brief, and they're money, money, money. And the world needs people like that. They organize the clay chaos of the world, and I have a high value for that. That's why I started a business. It's because I respect and understand the world we need that we live in, and what it takes to move in that world in any functional way. And a big part of that is around business. So I have a utmost respect for businessmen, but at the same time, I am not a true blue businessman. I am what I would consider a builder, or at least that's what I tell myself. And because I want to build, I understand the importance of business, and so that's why I use the tool of business to build. And because I'm a builder first and foremost, I may not necessarily rely on the financial reason. If it was only for the financial reasons, some decisions I probably could have bailed out on a couple times already, took the monetary reward and moved on to the next one. But with this brand, with my products, I feel as though it's a lot more room on a runway that I need to absorb. So I decided not to go that route with that person. So that was interesting because I'm like, wow, dude, why are you turning down money? But it's because, as I said, I do believe that it would be a distraction. And one thing I do not like is distractions. So, as a ability to understand the time trade off is very serious. You can recover money, you can't recover time. The second thing is from a first hand point of view, one of the groups that I really take interest in are what some would call dominant minorities, middlemen, etc. But these are groups that have minority status in a nation, demographic minority numbers, but they are economically powerful. Um, Good examples will be that, of course, people will say Jews in America, or they will say Chinese in Southeast Asia, or Lebanese and Indians and Africa, as well as the Indians in the Caribbean as well. Different groups, Germans in Russia would be another one. And I read a whole book by Thomas Sowell. The name forgets me. Peoples and Culture. He had a series of books, but one of them really delved into different ethnic groups, minority groups, and of course, this affects me well because I'm from a my statistical minority group in America. We don't do well. It's very easy to see why a statistical minority group doesn't do well. They really don't have the demographic center and the pool. They are more in the orbits of the culture as opposed to the center of it. I just saw that Taylor Swift basically is like revolutionizing the economy and with her new tours or something of this nature. And I was like, wow, I would have never saw that. When I look at Taylor Swift, I don't say, wow, I had to spend my money and go hear her music. But obviously there's a lot of people that does do that, and I would have definitely lost that job as a talent manager if I would have passed up on a talent that is Taylor Swift. But I think that's a lot more because of the numbers and the amount of people in America that listen to her music, find her talents very desirable, etc. But that's just a lesson of like me not being in that culture and seeing things through that lens. But when you see these minority groups that are economically dominant, you start to see that one of the things they have to do is really work together. And they work together through their institutions. So one of the groups I talked about was the Jews in America. Well, I follow this one gentleman. He talks about the importance of the synagogue and building relationships and the institutions they build in their community. And what this does is kind of it centers the focus of the groups. So he speaks of man. I wish I could tell you his channel, but he always has these great videos on Jewish secrets of wealth, etc. And I think he's based out of Panama City. So just big ups to him and the great content that he pushed out. But he was talking about how they use the church as a center because the shared culture, the same values. So when another member of the community is successful, they're happy because they know they're going to get benefit from that person's success. That person's going to come back and bring that wealth back to the community, etc. So that's not necessarily what you see in my community in America. A lot of times, some people take their wealth and they'll leave the community, or yeah, they'll divest. They'll give some back to the community, but they're not in the community. So the true investment is their time, money. I mean, their time, resources, and energy, of course. But he was talking about how whenever there's a problem, they'll just go to the rabbi, and the rabbi will sort it out because the rabbi knows that family. They know your family. Uh, they'll pull strings, and it's a real community group orientation. And in this business deal that this person came to me with, the person that I used to work for, like me and him, we're on the same page. But he was a real businessman. And that was another thing that I really threw me off is I didn't because of this, I didn't trust his nature, and that really soured me. So it was really a great opportunity. I can say, oh, I can see how these groups are successful because a lot of the times these groups are helping each other out because they really trust each other and they're very well invested in each other. And I felt this person was not invested in what I was doing at all. And because I'm a builder, I just couldn't take that risk with the brand. Like, I still want this brand to be here for a group of people who really have an interest in and understanding the world and how it works. To take this to a geopolitical point of view, you always see America. What America do when they get on, they start talking about freedom and democracy. What this really is like a dog whistle. This is a bird call. This is America saying, if you let us eat off your plate, we'll give you some of our crumbs. But of course, America has a bigger plate, so their crumbs will probably be the size of that country's plate. So, but that was the whole problem. Like America's going to come in and they're going to tell you you can't do this deal with that country, etc. But America's also going to open up its trading in its market to give you access to better develop yourself. So just the way I'm kind of seeing the world and making decisions and felt a little crazy for a second. But to me, I think it's just necessary. If either I'm going to build it or I'm not going to build it. And if I'm going to build it, I know that it's going to have to be a certain road that I take. Once I get along so far in the road, then I'll be more open. And as a child, as the product, the brand, the business becomes stronger, I'll feel more comfortable taking different risks because it will be stronger and can endure more. But at this stage, I'm very a overprotective father at this point. So yeah, thanks for letting me vent, and I hope you got a gem out of two out of that. I hope you will. Look for the new content coming out. Really working hard trying to get you something that you can really sink your teeth in. It's going to give you some good, nutritious information. So until next time, take care. Bantu up.